Welcome, this is Melinda Barlow, CZT, Certified Zentangle Teacher. And today I decided to do a large scale item. And you can get the printout on my website like this, and we're going to draw on the 8.5 by 11 piece. You can just print it out, it's a download, and but we're going to just work on this piece today. See if I can come in a little. Might not want to come in that much. Okay, we're going to start out with this lovely tangle right here in the center that is called Cross Your Heart, and I've done it a couple of times, and I'm just going to fill in with some fun tangles. And so I'm using a PN pen. I like the tip on it is a little better, and I've got some colored jelly rolls that I'm going to use too. But we just start out first with obviously a cross, and this paper that I'm using is a canvas paper. It's kind of a little harder to draw on, and so my pen kind of jumps around, but you're not going to notice. So you make a cross, and then you're going to make a heart over the top of that cross. And I like to rotate my paper. So I better pay attention to what I'm doing so I stay on camera. And so there we have the first part of Cross Your Heart. And I'm gonna come back out. I think I'm just a little too close for you to see. Now we're going to do the bottom part of a heart. And I think it kind of has a leaf shape. And we go from the center of that little hump and make this little leaf shape or other part of the bottom of the heart. And mine always gets a little I get a little artsy or pointy with that. And we're going to go all the way around. So now we've gone all the way around, and it's a pretty plain little tangle. But we're going to come in here and we're going to add some auras or some striping. So I add two little in the center that kind of bow out, and then I'm just going to aura this shape all the way out. So now I do that same kind of shape of the heart. I want to keep that shape, and we just aura right out to the outside edge. And this, I think, just really fills this tangle up and makes it beautiful. And there we have Cross Your Heart. And it's going to get embellished with lots of things. But one of the things I found that I really like to do with Cross Your Heart is to stripe it. But I'm going to take a jelly roll. And I think I'm going to take one of my, this is Moonlight Green. This is a a green. I better take my glasses off so I can Moonlight 06. And we're going to put Moonlight in here. So I'm just going to start by filling this in, and I don't start right in the center. I leave that white, and then I'm going to fill in every other one. And when I leave my little piece of sparkle, I like it to be a little more uneven or jagged. And I'm going to come right here, and I'm going to just leave me one on that very outside edge, because I don't like it to be completely white, so I can just make one that looks like it folds around. But there's something magical about a little sparkle in your tangle. I have another one right there so that I can add that in. And I don't know if you're getting the color. Let me see if I can adjust the light here. But it is a beautiful color. And now I'm going to take a jelly roll, and this is kind of a gray color, and I'm going to do the same thing up here, but I'm using this gray Moonlight jelly roll. And I like to leave those, like I said, a little bit jagged. And sometimes I don't leave any, all depending on things. But you can see that that is beautiful. And I usually go from the center out because I want that center one to be white. So you can see how that, oh, what did I say? I start from the center. I started on the edge. Oh, this worked out okay. And I like to rotate. Even when I'm doing large pieces, I rotate. And when I add color to my tangles, I like it to be kind of subtle and blending. Now that I've got that one finished on my large piece of art, we'll back out so you can see that this gives me a starting place to kind of go from. So now everything is going to connect to that and just spread out. So now I'm just going to add some of my favorite go-to tangles to here. I'm going to switch out to my apprentice, or a PN black pen. It has a plastic nib, and I don't grab down so close that you can't see on this one. I don't know, on my other pens I just get very, very close. So I'm going to come in again on this, and I'm just going to start with some Flux, like Rick does. I love Rick's Flux. And I'm going to just echo his Flux so that they have those lines in there. So I'm just going to do some Flux. Flux is always a go-to tangle. And you can put a little line up the center and give it a little dot. And but I'm just going to give this little tangle and it's fun to do some that kind of holly bob behind. That gives a lot of interest to your work, is when you draw that behind part. And you can just really build and let that Flux really just take up space. And I like to rotate again. And maybe you don't want Flux all the way around. I don't know. I might use some other tangles to go out, but I really like the way Flux fills up a piece of work. And you can do it large, or you can, you know, do small ones. That was kind of a weird little one. And sometimes in these spaces, I will just fill in with orbs. You know, I love orbs. If, you know, anyone hasn't watched my videos, I love, love, love orbs. I love any fluid round tangle. So you can see that this one just has a bunch coming out the top. Now, I think I want to add another cross my heart and put it in here. But this time, instead of using, I'm going to pick up a green 05 pen, and I'll try not to grip too low. Let me come out. Oops. Sorry. I'm going to come out a little bit, and I'm just going to draw my cross. And then make my hearts. And put another cross my heart in here. And then I'm going to put my leaf shape, remember, coming off the top. And I'm holly buying under there. And I don't normally go back the other way, like this way. I usually start from the left-hand side and go to the right. That's just, you know, how how we write left to right. And so that's what mine get done on, going left to right. I imagine I could, I can go the other direction. So there I have, ooh, let's do a little, I have a little cross your heart right next to this one, but done in a very dark green. And then I'm going to just echo. Okay, this one I may not color in. I may just leave this one just like it is and not give it a striping. But the reason I wanted to put this one in here is because now I want to do 1, 2, 3 coming out. This is one of my favorites, and there's several that are kind of like this. And I did a post on What's in a Name, a video, because I love the fact that Molly Hollybaugh had done the same thing. And so there are tons of tangles that are similar to each other, and that's just what happens in this wonderful world of Zentangle. And we just appreciate that art and their creativity, because people do sometimes think alike. Or you may see a tangle that sparks your imagination for something, and it becomes similar to the one you first saw, or a tangulation of is kind of a name that is used. But you can see how I am just building my 1, 2, 3 out of the edge of that. And another one you can do is, and I think I'm going to do it with a black pen, is Field of Flowers. Or FOF, and it's one to just have peep out. And if you're not familiar with Field of Flowers, I'll give you the little steps. Okay, you make a kind of a 2 little rainbow lines. I'm going to come in so you can see this a little bit better. 2 little lines, and then you start up here and make this kind of jagged petal, and then fill in this little piece right here, the center, in black, and there you have FOF. And you can see how that really adds. So let me come back out. I'm going to get this one of these days. I'm just looking at it backwards. And so you can see how we can really build a tangle or a beautiful art piece by just doing a couple of your favorites and then building around them. Of course, I wouldn't have it wouldn't be a tangle for me, I mean an art piece, and I'm just going to use my Moonlight and color that in a little bit better. I'm just going to add a kind of a curly stem like you would Muka. Then I'm going to fill in this end. And I'm just going to give it some little life there. Let me do another one. And it's going to come under. And the more I can curl around, spiral that around, the better. And then I just bring that back down. And then I'm going to fill it in. Then oops, because my pen just dragged across there. So I can give it a little bit more life here. And I could draw Muka. Muka is one of my favorites to draw. And so is Fescue. So let's give a few little fescues with this really bright green coming out of here. I think Fescue is just a simple little tangle that just adds life to something. And I could come back in here and just color in some of my little circles with a jelly roll of your choice. I'm using that green jelly roll. So now we really need to shade before we end this. I'm not finished here, but I'm going to do a little shading. And I'm going to shade this one with a little green. And if you look close, you can see the texture of my paper. And I could shade a little in here with that green also, and a little out here. I just think that it adds depth. So I'm just going to add that little bit of green out here. And I've shaded sometimes before I'm finished with something. And that looks like what I'm going to do now is shade before I'm actually finished. And I forgot to get out my odorless paint thinner. And I usually have a little cup, a little a little dish, something that I put it in, but I just have a little cup here, and so I'm just getting my odorless paint thinner. And blending that color out. And it really helps with my green. It brightens it up, and you can blend that out. This is going to be a super long video, and I apologize. I haven't been doing things for a while, so And I'm probably going to end up going to once a week, because, and if it starts to not blend, you need to give yourself a little bit more odorless paint thinner. And when I do a large piece, I don't particularly like to use graphite on it, but I will use a colored pencil and give it some shading. But you can see how that shading just really makes a difference. I'm not finished with this. I will have to keep going. But you get an idea of what doing a large piece is like. Takes longer, but it's so satisfying. Thanks again for watching, and have a great day.